to TemeculaWineTV.com. Today we're here in the site of the first vineyard that was planted in the Temecula Valley. And that vineyard was planted in 1968 by Vince and Audrey Cilurzo, who are here with me today in the original spot of the planting. So what's your most memorable story of the first few years that you were taken off on this venture?
Well, Dick Brake said you have basically the same climate that they have in Napa. And so he picked the two varieties, Chenin Blanc and Petit Syrah, and we planted the first vineyard here in 1968. 40 acres, and we used to take care of it ourselves for a long time.
The thing I remember in that first year was that we started hearing word in Mexico that there was hordes of grasshoppers that were coming north, and every day we would get a new report, and we were in a panic because we knew what grasshoppers do because our vines were about this tall and very delicate new leaves. And again, Dick Brake had a friend who was the head of the Department of Agriculture.
Dick Brake had contacts with people in Sacramento. He picked up the phone and he called, his name was Cook, and told him the problem here. The next morning, there was a plane flying over, spraying malathion, killing thousands and thousands of grasshoppers. Now, if that happened today, by the time they went through all the hocus pocus, the place would be gone.
Right.
And even at that, we lost 51% of our vines, but wow. That saved us a lot of money.
So you lost about half the vineyard in the first year after you planted it.
And I was 8 months pregnant with Chenin, just about ready to have her, and nobody in those days knew that malathion might be a problem. And I can remember at 5 in the morning when this plane came over, we were living in the little house that was here at the time, and we went out and we just, thank God for this airplane.
Thank God for the malathion.
Yeah, and never had any problem with the malathion. Chenin never had any problems, so everything was fine.
Yeah.
But by 4 in the afternoon, when you drove up the road, these dead grasshoppers would flip up on the engine, and it smelled
like coffee.
Yeah.
Roasted coffee.
Yeah.
But it saved the valley.
Yeah.
I don't know whether there would have been grapes here had that plane not been able to spray for malathion. I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't have wanted to replant.
Yeah.
So.